Oh, man.
How many?
218 warbirds.
Oh. 218. That's not so bad.
True. You really only have to worry about the first 109.
Shut the fuck up.
I hope this isn't going to be a problem.
Why should it be a problem? We're going to have a wonderful time. Now, if you don't mind.
Trekcast.
Chad showered finally for the first time.
Yeah.
In weeks.
Not only that, but I got dressed. I got dressed. That's the thing. So.
I know. It's the best.
Yep.
Is Dan frozen?
Yeah, we should get Dan back in a minute. He's making adjustments apparently.
Oh,
there he is.
Yeah.
Finally, we're all back together.
Yeah, making adjustments. I switched to boxer briefs a few months ago. So
welcome to the club.
Yeah. It was an adjustment period.
Yeah. Does that mean no more whitey tighties? Is that what you're saying?
You know what? I actually retired the whitey tighties, the tighty whities, probably about 25 years ago when I realized you can get them in just about any color. So I was like, they will appear cleaner longer.
Exactly.
Oh my.
You know, in the Army, they issue you brown briefs.
For a reason.
For a reason, yeah.
Hey, Chad, your
camouflage.
Video just glitched.
Do what?
Your video just glitched, just one time.
Ah, jeez.
Do you have your VPN on?
No, it's off.
Okay.
Come on, guys. I was gone for 2 weeks. I thought you'd square this stuff away.
I know, right? I'm already recording.
The problem is that it's a work, it's a work laptop. I've got nothing else to use right now until that Mac in the background gets fixed. And the work laptop. I mean, seriously, like earlier this week, I was going through online training course stuff that they were doing because I couldn't go on site. So I was just doing it over the computer and I needed a break. It was like so monotonous and so dry. So I just go pull up Netflix. I was going to watch something on Netflix for like 20 minutes for a break. Oh no, a little thing came up in my Chrome browser that I installed myself and said, yeah, you can continue to watch this if you want. It's a streaming service and we're going to log that. Oh shit. So promptly closed out of that. So this thing is big brothered all to death. So
it's control.
Yep. It's control. It very much is. So I don't know. I'm going to have to buy my own personal hardware all over again at some point. So
yeah.
You gotta wait till after we're done with Thunderdome, though.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe the prices will be really good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm still working.
You know, you can either buy a new Chromebook or a roll of toilet paper. It's up to you. Make the decision.
Same amount of money.
Yeah, it's nuts.
So, funny story about that.
It's stupid, is what it is. It's stupid.
Yeah. Two funny stories about that. Number one, there's a thing going around on TikTok right now where whoever's doing their own recording, they're playing the doctor and they're playing the patient. The doctor says to the patient, "Oh, I got some bad news. Your test came back and you've got the coronavirus." And then it switches over to the patient. The patient goes, "Well, that's not possible. I have a ton of toilet paper." So,
Yeah.
So Friday I go around. Kind of rumors were going around that this stay-at-home thing was coming.
Yeah.
So I went around on Friday and tried to get what we could for supplies for the next week. Just enough for the next week. That's all I wanted. I wasn't trying to hoard anything. I was just trying to get supplies for the next week before anybody else started going around and getting it. And I had to go to 3 separate stores. All 3 stores were totally out of eggs. All 3 stores were totally out of milk. All 3 stores were totally out of toilet paper except for one, the Price Chopper, right across the street from us.
Yeah.
5 blocks away. Had an entire aisle filled with toilet paper. And here's why. It's the kind that nobody wanted.
Oh, yes.
It's lavender scented.
Oh, for God's sake.
Why even put that on the shelf? But I bought it because we needed,
Yeah.
I'm out. So.
Well, if you run out, coffee filters work just fine.
There you go.
Or you just take a shower afterwards as your
That's what I
status.
posted.
Yeah.
That's what I posted.
Yeah.
Everybody's freaking out about toilet paper. You're home. You're home for 2 weeks. Take a dump. Take a shower.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. Yeah.
It's no big deal.
That's fun.
It's no big deal. And the worst part is, I mean, really, human beings got along for millions of years without toilet paper.
Right.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Well, over here, they're just now shutting down the bars and restaurants, and that starts tomorrow. So everybody's out today, because of course they are.
It's funny in New York. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and then also we're full of call centers around here. Like that's the big thing, big industry. Yep. And it's in all the call centers already, like positive tests. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, really?
That's because nobody washes down those phones.
Right. Right.
Yep.
So my area's fucked.
Yeah.
Well, all the bars and restaurants have been shut down here for I haven't really been watching the news. I've been so preoccupied with work because I'm still working through all of this. Yeah. But one thing I thought was interesting is the liquor stores are still open. Mm-hmm. And restaurants can stay in business, but they can't seat any customers. They can do takeout, and they suspended portions of the alcohol beverage consumption law. So your run-of-the-mill Italian restaurant can fill a styrofoam cup with red wine, put a top on it, and give it to you to go. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It's funny some of the things they're doing, and some of them make total sense. Like somebody asked, what liquor stores aren't essential. Why are the liquor stores staying open? And whenever looting occurs, the first place to be looted is a liquor store. Okay, and there's a couple reasons why. A, it's vacant. There's no one there to put up a fight. And B, nobody has liquor because the liquor stores are closed. So if you keep them open, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they won't get looted.
Well, I was reading about, because I'm right close to Washington State. It's 15 minutes away. Yeah. And they've got all the weed shops, and all those are still open because they're considered essential.
Services.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. That's hysterical.
No.
That's just what the.
Should we get started?
Well, one more.
Go for it.
One more. As you both know, I am an advocate of the Second Amendment and having the means to protect yourself and not relying on your government to protect you. And I can't help but note that there are stories all over the place about lines around the block at gun stores. Yeah. And the secondary story to this is people complaining about how hard it is for them to obtain a weapon right now. Mm-hmm. And these are the same people that for the last 20 years have been screaming how easy it is to get a weapon and wanting to put more and more restrictions on it. So I just thought that was ironic. And,
the mandate going around here is, no groups larger than 10, no one congregating close to one another. Obviously, the social distancing thing going on. Well, the other day when we went for a little bit of a drive to get out of the house, yesterday actually, we went for a drive to get out of the house, and we went past Frontier Justice, local gun shop, large chain gun shop.
That's an awesome name, by the way.
Yeah, it is. It's cool. It's cool. It's a great store. I mean, they have everything in there. But we're driving past it. The place opens at 12. It's 12:30, and there's just gigantic crowd out front. I mean, there had to be 100 people standing outside right next to one another, packed together, which is totally not. It defeats the whole purpose, because what Frontier Justice was doing was only letting 10 people in the store at a time.
Yeah.
Well,
but if they're all online,
yeah.
No,
they were just a crowd. It was like it didn't seem to make any difference, but whatever. So.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is those people online are likely not your regular pro Second Amendment people.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Because those people already have what they need.
Right.
These are new customers.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to include this in the show, that's fine too.
Oh no, we should.
Because we're probably going to lose some.
No, that's all right.
We might lose some listeners. I don't know, but
nah,
whatever.
Nah, this is part of who we are.
Okay.
And if we lose any more Amy's, I mean, we're okay with that.
Oh my God, she's such a tool bag. She's such a tool bag. She obviously doesn't listen to the show.
No.
Right.
I'm surprised she didn't lose her mind over the Snack Madness.
Yeah.
I'm surprised about that too. Yeah.
But yeah, I muted her for a couple weeks ago. The last time she unloaded on people, and she just didn't get it. She started again today, so I booted her out, or yesterday.
Yeah.
I booted her out. She tried to rejoin. I declined it. She tried again hours later, and I went to message her because I was going to tell her, listen, there's stuff talked about in this group that isn't necessarily referencing Star Trek, but it is referencing stuff that's talked about on the podcast. So if you don't listen to the show, you can't really be judging what people are talking about. And that's what I was going to say to her, and I was going to offer her a chance to come back in, and she had blocked me. She doesn't realize that even though she blocks me, I can still see her trying to enter the group.
Right.
So at that point, I just blocked her from the group. So she can't even find the group anymore, and no loss there.
No, we're good.
And case in point, just to bring it up, since we're talking about this, if you didn't know what was going on, it's just a little bit of a person that's in the Facebook group, Trekcast, that's been causing trouble. And no, this doesn't mean that you have to listen to the show in order to be part of the group. It doesn't mean you have to be in the group in order to really listen to the show. It just means that the two together kind of provide our overall content, okay? But with that said, if you're in the group and you don't listen to the show, that's fine. No judgment. Don't care. That's fine. Just don't be throwing it up in other people's faces if they're referencing the podcast and you're clueless at that point. So, enough said.
Or yell at the hosts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
She's like, this guy.
Right.
Yeah.
To both of us. She did it to you before it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Whatever.
All right, so let's get started. Daniel wants to get started. He's got something else to do today, apparently.
No, I got nothing to do.
He's got places to go.
Yeah.
You want to know? Just one more thing.
You want
to know how bored we are? You know what we did?
What?
My son and I deleted all the progress on Super Mario Brothers just to start over.
Oh yeah.
That's how bored. That's how bored we are.
Yeah.
But anyway. All right, Trekcast, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yep. Close up the device in the transport in the shuttlecraft there.
Yeah. Sort out the corner of my eye.
Monitor. Yeah. Yep, the monitor. All right, welcome to the Trekcast. I'm Chad Waldo. With me finally is Dan Lombardo, and of course, as always, Daniel Reyes. It's the trifecta. The three of us are all back together again.
You got to throw it in my face.
Oh,
throw it
man.
in my face that he's always here.
It's okay. Yeah, well, he is. He's the one who's always here. I miss sometimes too.
I've got nothing else going on in my life.
No wife, no kids. That makes it easier for Daniel.
It's me and the corgi.
Yeah, makes it easier. So,
yeah.
And of course, this is the most unpredictable Star Trek podcast in the universe. As one of our favorite listeners has once said, this show is basically three guys talking about anything and everything, and Trek holds it all together.
Yeah.
With that said, let's get into the news that's non-coronavirus related. Daniel, take it away.
Attention all hands. It's time for Star Trek news.
Question for you guys, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I just wanted to know, Oh, what was that, Dan?
He said shoot.
I said shoot.
Okay. So we're all in quarantine. What's your favorite snack that you're eating around the house right now?
Nothing
Toilet
but
paper.
Snack Madness.
Yeah. Well, I bought these things recently. Protein almonds.
Yeah.
And they're the weirdest things, and I can't stop thinking about them. I don't know if I love them or hate them, but anyways, let's get started with the news. Our first news story comes from unionjournalism.com, and this is a bit of a misnomer. The headline reads, Star Trek Discovery Season 3 on its way to air soon. Check out the release date, cast, and plot of season! ! That's the headline. If you read this story, though, you'll find out that there is no release date, and that they're saying that it should come out, season 3 of Discovery should come out sometime this year, earliest in April. We don't know for sure because they haven't announced it. So this is all a lie.
If they were smart, they'd put it out tomorrow.
Yeah.
They really would. Whatever they have, even if the season's not done yet, put it out tomorrow. You have people sitting at home just itching to do something, itching for content.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you got to break up the season, like if you're not done with editing,
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody else that's got streaming services are releasing things as early as they can. Things that were just in the theater at the start of the month are already going to be available for streaming Tuesday of this week. Ben Affleck's The Way Back, which just came out in theaters March 6th, is going to be. I know it's going to be available for streaming Tuesday. Yeah, my wife and I are going to have to watch that Tuesday night. Yeah. That's our date night, our staycation date night. But
date night.
Yeah, there you
date
go.
night on the couch, whatever. So, if they can do that, I can't imagine how CBS doesn't have the first 3 episodes already done. And they'd be stupid and missing a gigantic opportunity if they don't just surprise, here's episode 1 of season 3 directly after this week's finale of Picard.
Yeah.
Just one right after the other. Just
that
surprise, here it is. So, no extra trailer. No, because, one thing that I do, I love trailers. I like, oh, shit, I hit a button somewhere. Something's going to happen.
You're still here.
Okay.
I know. I heard beep boop beep boop boop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know my video is going to probably glitch every once in a while, but hopefully the audio isn't. But no, no trailer. Even though I love trailers, that's one of the things I love getting to the movie theaters for ahead of time, making sure I see every single trailer. My wife and I watch trailers weekly. It's one of those things. New trailers come on. It's kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. With that said, there is such a thing that's happened in the last, decade now, where trailers give away the entire freaking movie or show.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I am all for what little bit we've heard so far with Discovery being the only thing we hear. Because right now, I'm excited about that. I'm actually excited for Discovery Season 3 because I don't know what's going to happen. They're way out into the future. They can do anything.
Because you literally have nothing else going on right now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, I'm still working. I'm working from home. I'm putting in 10-hour days in this office doing stuff. So
listen.
No, I am.
Listen. Sure you are, Chad.
No, I've got logged keystrokes.
Working from home.
I wish I had I almost have all the hardware here, but I'm missing a stand for these units that I'm going to be selling. Otherwise, I'd have it set up behind me because they kind of look like a white and black version of a Dalek.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and so I kind of want to have I'm trying to see if I can find like a Raspberry Pi and a little voice thing so it can say exterminate every time it takes a measured point.
Nice.
Yeah. But anyway, so no, what was I saying? Oh, about trailers. No, they'd be stupid if they didn't release this thing this week. I mean, now maybe at the very least what they could do, at the very least of what they could do, was tell us at the end of the finale of Picard that next Thursday is the season premiere of April, the first week in April. Is something. Yeah. They got to do something. At the very least, give a release date at the end of the Picard and have it be less than a week away. I mean,
that would be great. So hopefully they do that. Yeah.
Yep.
Our next news story comes from StarTrek.com. The headline is announcing Star Trek shorts release date on Blu-ray and DVD. So all the little short treks are going to be compiled together from the last 2 years and put out on DVD. The release date is June 2nd. It will be hitting stores, and it's going to have all of the short treks and a ton of like behind the scenes little mini documentaries. So that
does anybody care? Does anybody care?
No, nobody cares. But there wasn't a lot of news, so.
Well, no. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not mouthing your choice of news stories. I'm just saying.
Oh, there really was nothing else. So.
I got one. If you don't bring up if your third story doesn't bring up this one, I'll say it. So go ahead. What's your third one?
Our third story comes from DailyStarTrekNews.com, and the headline is Star Trek's William Shatner tweets self-isolation captain's logs. So
he was done. He was done with Kirk. Kirk was played out. That's the last thing we heard from William Shatner. Was Kirk was played out
from the last episode.
A week later, here he is.
Here he is. And I've got a couple of them. Captain's log from March 18th. Stardate 1 of self-imposed isolation. After having arrived at the planet home, I am warmly greeted by the emissaries Espresso and Macchiato. I look forward to my planned respite from my normal duties. Kirk out. Captain's Log Supplemental. Upon reflecting upon my experiences this past week, I want to send my love and thanks and respect to those in Europe who came out to see me. And for those canceled appearances, I look forward to seeing you if I can get back to those venues at some point. Thumbs up emoji.
Yep.
Grandpa knows emojis.
Yep.
Yeah, if you go to his Twitter page, it's full of this stuff. So, good times.
Yep. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's
a week after saying Kirk is played out, I'm done with Kirk. Boom, there you go.
Yeah.
So,
it'd be great. It'd be great
that?
if Viacom served him with a cease and desist order.
It's their copyrighted characters, so
yeah.
That's it.
Well, they nail everybody else, including us, just trying to make some shirts.
Yeah, that's true.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, that's all the news stories I got.
All right,
Yeah.
that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Considering when you look through your Google News feed right now, like 99 out of 100 is about the other thing we're not going to discuss anymore.
Oh, I know. It's getting old.
Yeah.
It's getting old. I can't wait for it to be over.
Yeah.
And just while we're shortly on the topic of it, I'm being redeployed again for Friday. So yeah, I will definitely be deployed Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So yeah, I know it's the final episode of Picard, and I'm not going to be here for it. So I will do my best to either pop on again like I did the last 2 times, or record something for you guys to play.
Yeah, that'd be great.
As of right now, it's not going to happen. So.
Yeah, we're all in this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate what you're doing. So, you know,
it's important
stuff. Yep.
So, yeah.
That
all right.
Suck.
I've got some feedback.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess I should probably look that up too.
Hailing frequencies. Open.
Yeah, so I forgot to post in the group this week because I don't know why, but I did. But
nothing else
I posted this
Come
morning. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, and we did get one question from Mike Medina, and he wants to know: is there a bracket for which Trekcast host gets Corona first?
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
I responded to him because I think I might have already had it. Over the winter, I had a couple of close calls where I thought I had the flu.
Yeah.
And they were like, "No, it's not the flu. It's viral, so we can't give you anything. So just suck it up."
Huh.
So who knows? Who knows? I may have the cure coursing through my veins.
You might.
Maybe.
I think. Well, I'm in one of the at-risk groups.
Yeah.
Because if you have a heart condition, that's one of them, and if you have issues with your lungs, and I have that too, so I'm a little more concerned about it. But whatever.
I was more concerned about bringing it home. My son has asthma. My daughter was born 2 months early, so her lungs are 2 months less developed than they'll always be. 2 months less developed than they should be.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's true. Just wash your hands, don't touch your face, all the stuff they say.
Chad, we've decided you're the guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be traveling all over 9 states once the work from home thing gets lifted. So probably.
Yeah.
Probably. My wife's not real thrilled about that. But that's what I do.
Yeah. My wife's been leaving the thermometer on the front porch, so when I come home, I give myself a scan with the tricorder.
I can imagine when I come home from my first road trip here in the next month, or because the stay-at-home thing for here around the area is going to start Tuesday actually, and it's 30 days. So we're talking about the end of April before I'm probably on the road again. But I can imagine that I'll have to do something to totally disinfect myself in the driveway before I can even walk in the house.
Can you do your presentations in a biosuit?
Yeah.
There you go.
Rubber gloves in the van, in the shuttlecraft. You know, it's funny. We like 3 times already. We've said, we're not going to talk about this. Let's talk about something else.
Well, it's the big thing.
And it's such a big part of life right now.
Yeah,
that
everything
just keeps turning back.
Well, we had a conversation with the other day. I guess it was yesterday afternoon. My wife and I did about how when this thing is finally over, and it will be over. It's not a matter of if; it's a matter of when.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, it's sooner rather than later. I'm still thinking May. We'll kind of get back to somewhat normal in May, but the conversation kind of turned to, well, what is normal and what is going to be normal after this thing is done? Because it's not like it's never coming back again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that this version of the coronavirus is probably going to come around seasonally, just like influenza A and B does. You know,
right.
and I don't know. Yeah, even with a vaccine or not, it's still going to come around, and is there going to wind up being, mandatory vaccinations?
Well, you know, people get their flu shots.
Yep.
You know, maybe going forward, it's going to be you get your flu shot and you get your corona shot.
Yeah.
You know,
all
the flu
in one,
shot is
so you're sick for a day.
Yeah, well, the flu shot is different every year because there's different strain. There's new strains every year, and you know, sometimes it's 80% effective, sometimes it's 90% effective, sometimes it's 70% effective. So, you know, if you know, this is not the coronavirus. This is COVID-19. This is the 2019 version of it. So, excuse me. There's going to be a 2020 version and a 2021 version, and you know, it may become a regular thing where you get vaccinated every year for it. And then there's going to be people that say that causes autism or lupus or, you know, whatever. They'll come up with something. So that's the other thing. There's just so much disinformation out there that it's really driving me nuts. Sometimes I have to get off of Facebook for a little while. I mean, I've had so many people talking about, you know, just drink hot water every 20 minutes and that kills the coronavirus. It's like, man, shut up. Just shut up. Just shut up. Don't repeat anything without Googling it first, because it takes 30 seconds to see what a steaming pile of horse shit that is. But I've had so many people tell me that. Just stop. Stop being stupid, I want to say to people. Stop being stupid. Stop being lazy. Google it. You have the entire wealth of human knowledge in a little box in your hands. Just take 30 seconds. Take 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Star Trek. Come on.
Okay.
Please.
So,
please.
You want to do the update on the Snack Madness?
Let's do update on that, and then we still got some more feedback. But go ahead. Go do the update on the Snack Madness. That's okay.
Well, no. Go. Let's finish up with the feedback, and then we'll do.
Finish up with the feedback. Okay. So no emails, but I wanted to, as always, I try to highlight the coffee account, right?
Oh yes, yes. That's right.
As you know, Dan, and as most listeners know at this point, we are now Coffee Gold, thanks in part to Case Gentry for the next 2 years. So that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
So
thanks, Case.
You can do recurring donations now if you want to. That's totally up to you. You can make a one-time donation, whatever you want to do. It's kind of nice because now we have the little Trekcast away missions that are there for anybody who's ever donated, whether it's a one-time $3 donation or it's a reoccurring or you're a top donor or whatever. It doesn't matter. Anybody can get in there and see that content once you've donated at least one time at any time that we've had the coffee account. You don't have to make another donation just to go and see it. It's going to be something that's there. So there's 2 of those up there right now, 2 away missions. One that I did with Daniel and his buddy as well, Angel.
Yeah, Angel.
That was hysterical, by the way. We talked about Paddington Bear for half an hour. It was great. Literally, we talked about Paddington Bear. It was fun.
Yeah.
So
on CBS All Access, which we can all watch apparently.
Right, exactly. Season 1 from 1997, which is actually 1972. Anyway, so,
I got a message from Amy. She wants to know what Paddington has to do with Star Trek, and cut the crap. It says.
Right.
And quit copying an attitude, Daniel.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
That's what it is.
I'm all about attitude.
Anyway, last two donations we got. Mike Medina bought us a coffee, and Snuzzlefeet,
Thank you, Mike.
whoever Snuzzlefeet is, bought us a coffee. Snuzzlefeet is given quite a bit. I just don't know who that is tied to. That's one of our top 3. Our top 3 are still Commander Felton, Snuzzlefeet, and Terran, who's got an icon that looks like a Borg. So pretty cool.
Thank you very much.
We all know what Mike Medina's icon looks like. So
yeah, that's true.
So
I
great.
actually came across somebody else who had that same picture for their
really?
profile pic. Yeah.
They probably stole it from Mike.
Probably.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
So Snack Madness has continued, and we are now in what I am calling the Edible 8. So the matchups will begin again on Tuesday. We're going to do one matchup a day, Tuesday through Friday, and it should be a lot of fun. We've got nachos versus mozzarella sticks, boneless buffalo wings versus chips and salsa.
Oh, that's easy.
Barbecue
Buffalo.
wings and bone versus cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger.
And French fries versus taquitos.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's tough.
yeah.
That's a hard one.
That is tough. Wow.
That's a hard one.
So, the Edible 8 begins Tuesday, people.
I don't know what to do. I guess this is why you call it madness.
Indeed.
Because I just don't know what to do.
Yep.
I'm going mad.
That'll be
Now
fun.
I'm hungry.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, people are desperate for sports. ESPN was playing the World Series of rock skipping on water.
That's pathetic.
I
mean, it's a fun pastime with your kids, but that's pathetic.
Yeah. So this is all you got, people. Snack Madness.
Oh boy.
So if you want to vote, join our Trekcast group on Facebook. Just search for Trekcast on Facebook, and you'll find it. And join and be part of the fun.
Rock skipping.
Alrighty then. The current brackets are up on the website. So just so you know, if you're having a hard time finding those in the Facebook group or can't tell which one's the current one, every time Daniel goes and posts the latest one, I take a copy of that, put it up on the website.
Oh,
a little easier to find. So, but yeah, just so you know, it's there too. So follow along.
Awesome.
Yep. Moving into topic time.
Talking about Star Trek in this week's topic. Talking about the Star Trek in this week's topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the? The music. Yeah.
No. So I mean, anyway,
what are we reviewing? Star Trek 5?
Yeah. The search for money.
Yeah.
But no. What was the title of this thing? Because it's some Latin Ed Astra Domina Kama Sutra. I don't know.
It's something Ed Arcadia or something.
Yeah, at Lata Arcadia. Anyway, so part 1 of 2 parts, which it's a 10-part series. So
yeah, it makes no sense.
And what's the part 1 and part 2? It's kind of like calling them chapters all of a sudden. But anyway, didn't Discovery season 1 do that, where they had they broke it up into chapters or whatever? The first 2 or 3 were chapter 1, and then I don't know. Anyway,
and then they gave up. Yeah.
Yeah, I vaguely recall that, and then they just kind of forgot about it. But anyway, so a lot happens in this episode. A lot of conspiracy, or a lot of theories anyway, come out of this episode. Mm-hmm. I mean, biggest thing that happens in the episode, biggest shocker actually, is Brent Spiner showing back up again. Let's just skip right into that.
Well, his name was in the
If I had to make a graphic of my reaction to this episode, I think this would be it.
Yeah.
I was so excited to hear his voice and see him. And then the payoff to why Brent Spiner was there was such crap that
for first, I mean, Soong didn't have any kids. We already know this. He has no kids. This is talked about several times.
So
several episodes.
So there's a fan theory going around right now.
I know it's lore, right?
Right, it's lore.
Yeah, so that's theory number 1 from this episode, that's not actually Soon's kid. That's lore. And there's one specific quote that he makes that almost lends credence to that, even though I don't believe it, because I just don't think they're that stupid to do this. But
don't doubt them.
I know. These are the people that are responsible for Discovery season 1 writing. Anyway, or season 2, whatever. So it's short Trek, so whatever you want to throw at the wall. And apparently the Star Trek crossover, which I want to talk about that too. But anyway, so he says at one point specifically that how did he say that about his dad never really approving of him?
He says, my father created Data. He had me.
And he never really approved of him. Something like that.
Something like that. But the thing about that too is Lore always called him father.
Yep.
Data didn't. Data called him sir.
Correct. And the way that he worded that was exact wording that Lore has used before in terms of never approving of him.
Yeah.
So it's almost verbatim if you go back and listen to it. But anyway, so that's the only little thing in that, and of course the fact that we already know that Sung didn't have any kids.
No, there's another piece of evidence towards that. When we first see the robot town, whatever. They're doing.
Won't you take me to robot town?
Yeah.
Won't you take me to?
They're doing their exercises. You know those weird like kung fu tai chi thing. The first episode with Lore, that's how it starts too. Is they're in the
really
in the gym in the Enterprise, and Worf is leading a class.
So well, that's a nice little Easter egg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that. Huh.
Yeah. So
good job. Insert a nerd alert there for yourself.
Indeed.
Warning! Warning! Nerd alert! Nerd alert!
So they mentioned that they tried to download. Okay, in Nemesis they tried to download Data's consciousness into B4, but B4 was not sophisticated enough to process the information or whatever.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So if this is Lore, theoretically they could basically use B4 as just a thumb drive and kind of whatever they put in him, put him into Lore, and we have Data back in a human body.
Well, I don't know if they would do it in a human body. Although one of the things that this is the other theory that's going around too. James
They're going to turn
McAvoy's
Pinocchio into a real boy.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but when Sung and I don't know what Alston was that his name? Alston Sung. Alton. Yeah, kind of like the chef. Anyway.
Yeah.
Alton Brown. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, when he's making his souffle on the table with Agnes, it's like a pre-birthed synth, basically, right? And they talk about Gollum, and they talk about him working on transference and how he hasn't perfected it yet. But transference of a human mind into a synth body, right? That's what he's talking about. So there's where the second theory comes around from this episode, is that we are going to have James McAvoy coming back to play a young Jean-Luc Picard, because they're going to take he's dying, right? They're going to transfer his body, or his mind anyway, into a synth body, and they'll have to recast Jean-Luc Picard as a synth with Picard's mind.
Right.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think Jean-Luc would go for that.
I don't know.
I don't like that idea.
I don't like that idea at all.
No.
I don't know. Just seeing Brent Spiner, seeing old ass Brent Spiner, old white haired Brent Spiner. It felt like it had been done before. Okay. When he was talking about the synths and he referred to them as my children, I immediately thought back to season 4 of Enterprise.
Yep.
Where Brent Spiner was playing, I can't remember the character's name, but, and he had all the augment children. With him.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And he was referring to them as my children.
Yep.
And I got this overwhelming feeling of, we've seen this before 15 years ago. What are we doing here?
Yep.
So I really hope that's, I guess I hope it's Lore.
It would be different, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would take that as more of a nice twist than I would over we're going to put Jean-Luc's mind into a synth body. Yeah. Now, granted, I think that's something that's in that world and in the Star Trek universe is definitely going to be possible at some point. And it's okay to explore that, and just people are just moving from one sleeve to another, just like Altered Carbon, basically, on Netflix. But at the same time, we're not going to do that with JL. We're not going to do that with Jean-Luc. Sorry, that would be
His
against
name
what
is
Picard.
JL.
I know. That's what I think that would be kind of against what Picard would want for himself anyway.
Yeah.
Honestly. And maybe that'll be the plot twist. If they do that, he says, "You did it against my will. I was dying. Let me be," and then they kill him. I don't know. That'd be horrible. But that's just, I don't like that setup at all.
Yeah.
So
I don't like that we haven't seen his Romulan friends. Like they just kind of went away.
yeah, they were there for the first couple of episodes, and
Yeah,
they stayed there at the chateau, and that's it. They're gone.
That's it. They're done. Yeah.
Yep. So, but I kind of understand it, but I kind of don't.
It's just weird to set up those characters and do that to them.
Yeah.
So I guess we're kind of just jumping around.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Seeing the episode. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's my question. We know from, I don't think it was this episode. I think it was the week before, when he called the admiral, and she told him to shut the F up.
Yep.
We're sending the cavalry.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my question. I'm interested in your predictions. Who are we going to see? Who's part of the cavalry?
Well, I don't think we're going to see the cavalry because the cavalry was going to Deep Space 12. They diverted it and went to the planet through the transwarp conduit first.
Mm-hmm.
And Jean-Luc is trying to reach her on a subspace encrypted whatever when he's in Maddox's old quarters and can't reach her. So they don't know where they are, and they assume they're still at Deep Space 12. So if they get in at the very tail end of this thing somehow, which they might not, that's a good point. Who would we see? I don't know if we'll see. I don't think we'll see him.
No.
But if we did,
I think we have to. This is Star Trek.
Yeah.
This is a Star Trek show. We have to have the payoff. We have to have Starfleet show up at some point.
Better be the Enterprise.
I don't know.
So?
It better be. I mean, if you're sending the fleet in, you're sending the cavalry in after Jean-Luc and everything else that's going on, and maybe she's figured out she can't get a hold of Commander O because Commander O's on one of the damn Romulan warbirds. You'd send your best, right? So why not send in the Enterprise?
Well, according to Discovery, they don't send in their best.
That's true. According to Discovery, they take their best and they go shove them off into a corner somewhere for a year, just in case they're the only ones left.
Yeah, they shove them in the corner because we need to spin you off into your own series in a year.
Right.
So
right.
You stay over there.
Good grief.
Right. Well, they announced a few weeks ago that, Worf is the captain of the Enterprise.
In a book.
This time.
In a book.
In a book.
Yeah.
But, I'm wondering if they've been really good about keeping certain things quiet. We didn't know that Brent Spiner was coming back in this episode. They kept that quiet. We didn't know that Icheb was in that episode. They kept that quiet. So
Icheb didn't know.
Icheb didn't.
Kept it quiet that he was going to die.
Yeah, he didn't know either. It was great.
No.
They're so good.
So
we've got 4 of our 5 queens too. So
yeah, you're right.
Soji Daj, Sutra, Jana. That hand that
one.
Data, we're missing one.
What do you mean queens?
So when Data puts in the first scene of this show, Data puts down his poker hand, and there's 5 queens.
Okay, so go through them again.
Soji Daj, Sutra, Jana.
7 of 9. That's your 5.
7 of 9. That's what I was going to say.
She's the only real queen, actually.
Lal could be the last.
I don't know, because all 4 of those you just mentioned are all basically Soji, right? They're all different versions of Soji. So, I mean, if there's a 5th version of her, I guess that would make a little bit of sense. But we've already got the only real queen is 7 of 9. But and she's there. She's on the planet. The cube has crashed right there on the planet.
Right.
So some way, shape, or form, that thing's going to come into play this Thursday in the finale. It has to. Either it gets destroyed or it comes into play and actually does something. One way or the other, there's going to be a reckoning there.
I think what's going to happen is this is going to be a merged society. It's going to be the XBs and the synths are going to form a society together because all the XBs are there. The ship crashed.
Yeah.
So,
they've made
mention of the fact that they're not accepted anywhere else.
Right.
So this is a logical place for them to find acceptance. They can't go home.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them can't go home again.
Well, there is no real home for some of them, yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, so let's back up for a minute. We know it's not control now, right, Daniel?
Oh, we don't know that.
Oh God.
We don't know that.
I guess we don't. I don't. It doesn't seem like it, but I guess you're right.
It doesn't seem like it, but we don't know that.
We don't really know. So
yeah.
Less and less likely, but we don't really know. Okay, so we'll just leave that there.
Yeah.
Sutra,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like Kama Sutra.
That's right.
Like pun completely intended with her and the way she's dressed and moves.
Mm-hmm.
Is evil as hell. Agreed?
Oh, yeah. Because she's Lore's daughter.
Yep. There's no way that she's different. She's different than what Jana was, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But she's definitely far different than what Soji is. I don't mean physically. I just mean the mental makeup.
Yeah, personality and all that. Yeah.
So, okay. So we all agree that she's evil. Let's explain for a minute how a synth can die from getting poked in the eye with a hummingbird.
Oh, yeah. That's where the off switch is.
Okay, problem solved.
Well, we don't. We still don't know what kind of synths these are.
Yeah.
Are these human bodies with a computer in their head, or are these completely? They're biological, but they're created artificially.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, you stab them through the head, stab them through the brain, stab them through the brain.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, she could have her neck broke too, or whatever. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that could have just been stabbed her through the eye, then broke her neck and laid her down. Whatever. But it did seem stupid. It just seems watching it. I was like, what the?
Yeah.
Just take her head off or something. Make it obvious.
Well, here's my question: if they're biological, doesn't that technically make them like clones?
Yeah.
Closer. Well, Soji for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't tell she's not a synth by scanning her, obviously. I mean, she had to go through a medical. Well, she was going through scanners every time she went to work.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know that either, because there was that other Sung type android, Juliana, who she was an android just like Data, except she appeared human, and she had built-in dampening fields or whatever, so that anyone that scanned her, she would appear human.
Mm.
So
true.
I don't know.
Yeah, lots of ways to explain it, I suppose.
Yeah. Which, if you think about it, then they had already perfected brain transference, because he put Juliana's memories in this android, and the android thought it was a person.
Right.
Yeah.
Essentially was her. So.
Right. But Alton said he was a body guy. He wasn't good at transference.
Yeah.
So.
Right. That was Maddox's place. Alton was a body guy. Yep.
Yeah.
Boy, that sounds like lore, doesn't it?
Yep.
It sounds like a construction work. I'm an ass man. Like, I'm a body guy. No offense to any of our construction worker listeners out there.
No.
Oh, I'm sure they got a kick out of that.
Wait, can you do that voice again? That voice was great.
Yeah.
I'm an ass man.
There you go.
Shit, I just realized what you're doing. That's for the clip that you're going to put together.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
You fell into my
now
trap.
Going to be saved forever.
Maybe that's the show title.
Yeah, there
I'm
it
an
is.
ass man.
There it is. Welcome back, Dan.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't know. Anyway, so by the time they get down to the surface and they get over to the robot town,
it's much better that way, isn't it? Robot town.
It is. It's much better that way. One of the questions it's asked is, how many more of those flowers do you guys have? And they said, well, we had 18. Now we have 10. And at one point, while they're talking and going through this, you see in the background more of these things floating off from the ground, which I thought was really cool. I mean, that was a really wild design to begin with, really cool looking, great way to start the episode. And she makes reference that there should be 25 before in total before the Romulans get there, which that's pretty good, adding 15 in less than a day. But cool. That's cool. I thought that was one of the more unique aspects of something that they put together. Completely biological.
I thought they sounded like hippies. We're going to fight them with flowers.
They're very... You knew they were going to be hippies when one of their names was Beautiful Flower. I mean...
Right, yeah.
That's true. What in the... They name their kids things like Sun and Star and Nova and, Anyway.
Yeah.
And suits them. I mean...
I've dated some girls with some weird names, so I can't say anything.
A name is a name.
Yeah.
But anyway. So what do we think? Do we think Seven's going to be Annika, whatever, is going to be able to get the Borg cube in shape for any kind of defense?
Oh yeah, that's why it's there.
That's why it's there, right?
That's why it's there.
Why else would she go and follow him?
Yeah. I could see everything. I plugged into the cube. How? You're not plugged into the collective. It's disconnected.
I think the XBs are going to willingly allow her to reassimilate them. I think there's going to be I think it's going to be we need to help these people. They can't do it without us, and we can't do it as individuals. We have to do it as a team, and they're gonna willingly be reassimilated.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be kind of heartbreaking to watch.
Yeah, as long as it's temporary.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Like the last episode. Yeah. It would be interesting though to see that again. That was pretty slick how she did that. So.
Is it weird that they did that big goodbye with Space Legolas, and then in the previews he's there again?
No, not really, because they don't really know if they're going to see him again or not. They don't really know. So
that's true.
Yeah, they don't know.
Yeah,
I did like the little purple handheld unit that the one synth gives them, and they're like, "What does this thing do?" And she goes, "It fixes things."
Yeah.
That was about as good of a clip as the hell yeah. She has no clue what it does. It just fixes things that are broke.
She's a packlid.
Exactly what I was going to say.
It makes things go.
Yep, that's right.
Do you think that device is going to screw them over, or is it actually going to help them?
I have no idea. That's a good point. There's a lot of underlying evilness to this whole Robot City thing. Kind of like when what was that name of that movie, the animated movie with Ewan McGregor as the robot who's trying to fix things, and there's the
Wall-E?
big no
Short Circuit.
No. newer than that. That would be Johnny Five.
He is alive.
I'm talking about Ewan McGregor. Dang it. Anyway.
Star Wars?
No.
Oh, let's name more Ewan McGregor movies.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I got.
That's it. No, I'm done. I'm just going Train Spotting. Oh my gosh. And no.
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
Christopher Robin?
It was called Robots. It was called Robots.
Of course it was.
How'd you miss that?
I don't know. It just reminded me of that.
Is that a kid's film?
It is a kid's film, 2005. But no, what I was getting at with the Robot City and the underlying evilness of things going on, it reminds me of that movie Robots with Ewan McGregor, where he goes to the big city and he's trying to, strike out on his own as a repair guy, basically. And what's his name? Greg Kinnear plays the evil robot who's basically trying to make everything for himself and make everything look the same. And
God, Greg Kinnear.
Yeah.
There's a name you don't hear anymore.
No. But anyway, there is a little bit of an evil underlying tone to this whole thing, especially with whatever this admonition that's coming in. Because obviously they're going to build this tower and call him in and down some more pills. And
it's what I do. It's time.
Yeah. So I did think the way that they did that though was pretty good. How they played it. Oh no, you guys just can't. Your minds can't take the whole thing of what it is.
Yeah.
And then of course when she does a Vulcan mind meld.
Oh,
with
that's
Agnes,
okay. That pissed me off.
Yeah. So there's a lot
So
to go.
you can learn how to do it.
Yeah. Well, there's an explanation for that. Okay. There is. There's a logical explanation for that. All right.
Tell me, because I got pissed.
She's a synthetic being. Okay. She's a robot. All right. So you can't tell me that she can't somehow just read your mind with, I don't know, nanites or tendrils or something.
Or something.
Yeah, exactly. But she's just learned to do it to where it looks like a mind meld because, you know, they're all trying to be more human, just like Data was. You know, I mean, there's somewhat of a logical explanation for that. But on its surface, it was stupid. I was like, she's learned how to do a what? They could have done that. They could have done that a little differently. But that's the only thing I could kind of wrap my head around. But anyway.
Now, who did this?
Sutra. Did a mind meld on Agnes in order to see the full.
And we don't know.
Message.
We don't know stock footage.
Yeah.
We don't know if she's biological or not, right? Because she's got the yellow skin and the gold skin and the yellow eyes. And...
She's probably a mix of the two. She's
okay.
She's not like Soji, but she's not like Data. She's somewhere in between. Is my take on it. Because she acts very human.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the gold skin and gold eyes they put on her, then she'd be Soji.
Here's the thing, though. You say human, but, I mean, does that mean human, like, from Earth, or does that mean human, like, humanoid?
Humanoid.
I mean, she may have some Vulcan DNA in there somewhere. We don't know.
They're messing around with all kinds of things.
Yeah. They're making a deadly soup.
Yeah.
And who knows what's in there?
Yeah. Could have used a little bit of frog DNA, you know, from amphibians. You never know.
That's it.
There could be one with a really long tongue. I mean, I'm just saying.
I don't know where you're going,
but that's Janeway's lizard baby.
Right there. Exactly. Yeah, right. We'll just leave it at that. I won't say anymore. We'll just leave it at that. Well, I mean, you know, Alton needs a companion somewhere.
It's very lonely in Robot City.
Well,
they made a cat.
Yeah, exactly. He even makes mention of that at one point. You know, we're not all machines here.
Right.
So it's funny that he does. He refers to them as machines. But anyway, getting back to this vision, you know, we get the full throttle of what this vision is. And now, of course, we have the Synth Federation. The message wasn't there to say, hey, there's you know, the rise of synthetics is going to destroy everything, and so you have to knock them down. The message was there as in, we are synthetics, we are artificial intelligence, and every time organics rise, they come to knock us down. So anytime we go and anytime you get this signal and you're a synthetic, we'll come and rescue you. So, but at the same time, we're going to kill every organic thing that there is at the same time. So that's kind of an interesting little twist on that.
If only the poor exocomps knew about this.
Yeah, I know. They didn't last long, did they? They didn't last long.
No.
So then, of course, you know, what does this synthetic federation look like? Are they humanoid? Are they not? In that little bit of a teaser trailer we got, it looked like they had some long tendrils a la the Matrix squids. That's all we could see coming through some sort of transwarp tunnel looking thing. But
I thought that was part of the orchids.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I couldn't tell. It went by so fast. You'd almost have to freeze frame every second to see what the heck
I thought that was part of the orchids.
Maybe it is. So
I don't know if we're going to see the Robot Federation. I think the signal will get out, and that's your cliffhanger. Like, here they come.
For season 2?
For season 2.
And that's why you need Guinan to stop them?
Yeah. So she can praying mantis them.
With her praying mantis style?
Yeah. My praying mantis style will defeat your robot style.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like paper beating rock. Anyway.
Yeah.
So.
And then they search for Q to help them.
Yes. Yeah. Where's Q at in all of this? Come on.
He better show up at some point.
Well, that would be a cliffhanger. Show up in the last second of this next episode. That kind of.
Mon Capitan, what's going on?
Yeah.
I think he would. I think, yeah. What do you think he would say if Q showed up in the last 5 seconds? Just one line. What would it be?
Oh, Jean-Luc, what have you done now?
Yeah. Yep. What a mess you have gotten yourself into.
Yep. That would be it. That would be it.
He's gonna show up as the dog. Number one, just the talking Q dog.
Dog. Yep. Please no. Please no.
Oh, I would love that. All season 2 is just Picard and his talking dog.
Oh man. And you can't really tell if it's like really the show or he's just going insane because you get different clips, different things, and you can't tell what's real and what's not.
It's more like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Oh,
he just thinks he's on drugs.
Yeah. Oh man.
I mean, if you're not going to make it Star Trek, let's just really go off the rails then.
Oh no, it's Star Trek because CBS is making it. So unfortunately, it's Star Trek.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
So, I don't know. Is there any? I mean, there's a lot of little things that happen in this episode, but we don't need to nail it all to death. Everybody's got enough time over the last 3-4 days. They've seen every 53 Easter eggs here and the Easter eggs there.
Yeah.
And her golden eyes and skin is not an Easter egg, by the way. That's not an Easter egg. Screen Crush. You screwed that up.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So Soji's gonna pick Picard, right? That she's gonna try to save him in the end.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she's not gonna. I think her character, everything that she's been through and seen, I don't think she's gonna be okay with wiping out the crew that she's been with for the last 3 or 4 episodes now. I don't think she's gonna be okay with that. That would be totally against her character. It was against her character in this episode to talk the way she was talking, but you could tell she was unsure of herself.
Right.
She wasn't sure what to think or what to believe. All she knew is these were her people and she was home. But it wasn't what she expected. You could tell at least that much. And she is, and despite Will Wheaton crushing on her for the entire interview that he did with her on the Ready Room,
I'm not gonna blame her, man. She looked good.
Oh yeah, well, she looked good, but she's also a good actress. I mean, she did a very good job of coming across in all those different in those different roles of being very unsure of herself. Yeah. So she did a good job. She did a great job. So. But all I'm saying is, if I'm Will Wheaton's wife, I'm sitting there going, "You little shit."
it was the Bob Ross socks. That's what got him.
That's what got him. He did. He had Bob Ross socks on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch it.
You're not missing anything, really.
Nah.
It is the Chris Farley show, like he said.
Yeah.
The interview. Remember that time? That thing?
That was awesome.
Yeah.
It
is that. It is really that.
He should just come out and say it like that on purpose.
He did say it.
Oh, I know, but I mean, like trying to be in Chris Farley's voice and everything.
Oh, yeah, he should do that.
Yeah. That was crazy. That was crazy. We did a Facebook watch. If those of you who didn't able to chime in on that on Friday, we did kind of a Facebook live watch in the group of the Ready Room. We had 3 or 4 other people join Daniel and I. That was a day I was out driving around trying to find supplies, and I joined late. But at any rate, that was fun. We need to do that again
do another
sometime.
one for the last Ready show.
Yeah,
Ready Room.
That'd be good. That'd be good. And we'll have
I've
to do
nothing else going on. So.
Exactly, and we're gonna have to try to plan one of these Netflix watch parties too.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That would be a blast. We need to do that. So just one Sunday night, Tuesday night, whatever. Where we just have a scheduled time. We're all going to watch some random, TNG or DS9 or whatever episode and do a complete Mystery Science Theater 3000 treatment of it.
Well, I have one I want to do.
Yeah.
The DS9 baseball episode.
Oh, yes.
I think that would be a fun one.
We should do that.
Take me out to the Hall Suite.
Yep. Take me out to the Hall Suite. I just watched that probably about 2 months ago as I was finishing up the rewatch of DS9.
Yeah.
And I'm in the middle of rewatching all of SG1 right now. I'm on season 7, which is how I got confused in my little away mission thing the other day.
Oh, you know what we should do is we each pick an episode, and then we put it up in the group as a vote and see which one do you want to rewatch together.
There you go. That's a great idea. Yeah. Speaking of which, someone put on an idea I liked and didn't like at the same time. But once the whole brackets thing is done with Snack Madness, we need to do that again, but with characters against one another. And I like that, but I also don't like it because we all know who the final 4 is going to be. It's going to be like Kirk, Jean-Luc, Spock, Data, and Cisco, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you can eliminate certain people before you start,
or have them go head to head, like Cisco and Kirk are right there at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Head, something like that. But
you could do like a captain's division, a doctor's division, science officer, command, whatever. Break it down and then go that route.
Yeah, we can think about it. It was a good idea, and at the same time, it's kind of like, man, I know what my top 4 already is, so it's really. But then, who would win out of that top 4? I mean,
I would almost rather want to do it with franchises.
Oh, the shows?
No, not the shows. Actual franchises. So like Star Wars versus Star Trek versus Battlestar Galactica versus like break them down that way.
Yeah, or even just episodes. The top episodes.
I think episodes would be good.
Yeah.
Because we all know what our number 1 franchise is.
Yeah.
That's why we do this show.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be Golden Girls.
Yeah. It's not called Galactica Cast.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we did a 30-minute show on Paddington Bear.
That's right. He's the best.
It was great. It
was a lot of fun.
You should, if you haven't donated to the coffee account already, you need to do that now and go over there just to listen to that. That was really enjoyable.
Well,
go
we also got
show.
Your Pike rumors.
Yep. Yeah. Go.
Come up.
Yeah. Go and watch the actual episode of Paddington that we discussed, and then go back and listen to our show. It's even funnier. But anyway,
it's the first episode on CBS All Access.
Yeah, it's only 23 minutes long. Yeah, it's only 23 minutes long. We talk for about 23 minutes ourselves, so you're gonna have an hour. But hey, it's free content. It's a lot of fun. So
it's not free content. It's
true, but yeah, you already got CBS All Access. So I guess if you don't have CBS All Access, what are you doing? But it's $3, to get onto the coffee account. So
you need to pay for CBS All Access, and you need to make a donation to access it. But it's free content.
It's free. Once you've done that, it's free. No.
You want to hear about the bear? You pay.
It's Chad logic.
Yeah.
Greed is eternal.
There you go.
Anyway,
we've got time. We'll come up with other premium content stuff because why not?
Did you guys read any of these articles? Okay, so obviously I talked about Pike earlier this week because of the Star Trek Pike series that is now officially, according to 2 sources anyway, it's not official from CBS, but according to 2 sources, it's in development. Star Trek Pike, that would be the name. It's not Star Trek Enterprise like they initially said. It's not whatever else the working title was. They're going to Star Trek Pike. So, okay, that's all. Whatever. If they're going to do it, fine. They're going to do it. And they're going to screw up Spock. But whatever. I've said my bit on that. But the next thing that came out directly after that was not only are they doing that, but once Picard is wrapped up, once Discovery is wrapped up, once Section 31 is rolling, and Pike is rolling, they're going to do a short 3-4 episodes Star Trek crossover. That's the name of the show. Star Trek crossover. That stars
like the Defenders kind of.
Right. That has all the top bill from each show. It's going to have Sonequa Martin Green's Michael Burnham. It's going to have Jean-Luc as Picard. I don't know how they do that. It's going to have Anson Mount's Pike. And it's going to have Giorgio from Section 31 all coming together to defeat a villain. That's what it says in their notes. Now, if that, again, this is what I've said for I don't know how long, but I really hope they just knock this shit off because I know they want to have Enterprise or they want to have Trek year round. I get it. I understand that. I would love to have new Trek year round as well. But at this point, they literally are picking up shit, throwing at the wall, and seeing what sticks. That's just the dumbest, most anti-Trek thing I've heard them say so far. Even more so than, oh, Michael Burnham is Spock's sister that you never knew about. I mean, anyway,
everybody wants to be Marvel.
This is not Marvel. Trek is not Marvel.
I know, but everybody wants to be Marvel.
There are ways to be Marvel. Okay, they have 3 shows that each ran for 7 years, semi alongside each other. If they want to do a crossover with characters from those 3 shows, or characters that they've introduced in Picard, which continues along that line, that's fine. Okay, but the people you just mentioned, they're all from different time periods. How are you going to do that? Unless it's another time travel episode, which gets
Yeah,
old. It just gets
done.
old.
It's been played out, just like Kirk. William Shatner's Kirk. I don't know. I really hope that both of those rumors now, since they've got them put together in several different places, I hope they both turn out to be completely bogus. So, anyway, that's my take on that.
I imagine they're going to be bogus. I mean,
it sounds ludicrous, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They just need to move forward.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've been saying this for years.
Well, they have.
Move forward. Picard is a smash hit.
Yep.
Okay. Continue the timeline from there, moving forward. Stop with the going backwards.
Yeah.
Yep. And they've already kind of done that. They've moved forward with Discovery. They've moved forward with Picard. Section 31 is going to be in its own timeline, time frame, obviously, somewhere else in between all that, but that's fine. But it's going to be its own thing, separate from what we've seen so far. So I don't see why the whole concept makes no sense. Anyway, I got off track with that.
At this point, I mean, Discovery's already jumping around the timeline. They've already been forgotten in the past.
Yep.
If they were to join up with the 25th century and
I just realized how you can do it.
Move forward from there. I'd be fine with that. That's the best way to kind of clean things up. And, Section 31 takes place in the 25th century. Let's just clean up the timeline and move forward.
I just realized how they can do it if they do this crossover crap. The temporal Cold War. Because they've already got precedent of going back and talking to Archer and recruiting people from past timelines. There's your in.
We get Daniels again.
Yep.
There's already 2 of them on this show. I don't need a third.
I know. But I mean,
that was quick. You have to admit, that was quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
They could. I mean, it is an unresolved thing from Trek.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's your hook.
If Picard has shown us anything, is that they're willing to go back and revisit unresolved storylines.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anything else about the part 1 of the Ender here that we need to go over that we haven't just randomly kind of gone through?
Riker's going to show up next week.
Ooh, you think so?
Yep. We know that the Federation is sending the cavalry. Okay. We don't know that they're sending them. They're going to get rerouted at some point.
Yeah, because Riker knows where they went.
Yep. And he specifically mentioned that he's still active reserve and could be called back into service, but it would have to be something pretty damn important. And the possible death of Jean-Luc Picard.
That's important.
What could be more important than that? So
that would be cool to see him. Yeah,
that's my big prediction. Yep. I don't know what vessel he's going to be on. I don't know if he's going to be in command of it. I would love to see Admiral Riker at the command of something, leading
USS Vengeance.
Yeah, leading the fleet.
I've come to save you, and I've brought pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't burn the tomatoes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
That's a good call. That's a good call.
He'd have to comb his hair, but
Right.
Yeah. What would he?
I'd love to see him in the uniform again.
Yeah. What would he look like in a uniform again with his hair combed? What would he look like?
I think he'd look great.
I think he'd look great too, but boy, he'd look different.
I think he would look like a seasoned veteran.
Ready to go.
Because they didn't mention what his rank was, what he retired at, right?
No.
So he could still be a captain. It's only been 20 years since he got promoted. Mm-hmm. So he could be a captain.
And maybe he didn't want to be, because he's that kind of guy. He was kind of like a Kirk type style from the standpoint of he didn't want to fly a desk.
Yeah. He
did not want to be an admiral. In fact, he was content staying a first officer to Jean-Luc for all those years. So
right.
So I could see him retiring as a captain and never going past that.
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting. That would be the way to get him back in, not have Worf show up at the helm of the Enterprise. Because there's no Klingons.
I would
see no Klingons in season 1.
But there's a lot of pictures of Michael Dorn behind the scenes just hanging out.
Yeah. That's Michael Dorn trying to get a role somewhere.
I think he's going to. I think Worf. I think Worf and Riker are both in this episode. This upcoming
That would
episode.
be fantastic.
Honestly,
throw Geordi in there too if you're gonna do that.
Yep. I was just gonna say I'm gonna put my foot to the floor. I'm gonna go full throttle. We're gonna see the Enterprise. Yep, we're gonna see the Enterprise. Worf, Riker, LaForge, Crusher, Troy, and I'm gonna do it.
Wesley
suiting up. That's my prediction. That's my prediction.
That would be crazy.
He's just way too giddy on that show. He's just way too excited.
Yeah.
It's like he's got something that he wants to tell, but he can't.
No, I think that's him normally, but you never know. Man, if they did that, talk about a cliffhanger.
They're not all going to be on the same ship, because we know there's a fleet. There's a fleet coming. So they're going to be scattered around because they have different assignments.
Yep.
But I think we're going to see all those people, if not most of them.
Well, Will Wheaton has teased in the Ready Room that Wesley is with the Traveler. He's talked about that.
Okay, so none of these characters show up, but Wesley as the Traveler shows up and wipes them all away.
I don't know about that.
And then Q shows up.
Then Q shows up and undoes it and says, Wesley, you can't do that.
Yeah. And that's season 2, Wesley versus Q.
There you go.
I don't know, everybody seems to forget Wesley was in Nemesis.
I know.
Most of his scenes were cut. All of his speaking scenes were cut. But the theatrical version, he is sitting at the dais at the wedding in a Starfleet uniform.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think
his
traveling days are over.
They also forgot that Worf had a different role and really shouldn't have been on the Enterprise anyway. But
Yeah.
So
true.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Anything can happen. It's the final episode 10 next week. It's the part 2 of a 2-parter, part 10 of a 10-parter, whatever. But
Part X.
It is amazing at how fast these 10 episodes have gone by.
Yeah.
They didn't leave any gaps. There's no gaps between any of them. They just played them all 10 weeks in a row straight. No break, no nothing. So they weren't trying to space it out to get ready for something coming up. I mean, they just did it. And it was quick. It went by real fast. The first 3 or 4 episodes were slow. Since then, they've just been killer episodes. And even though this one was mixed with a lot of weird things going on and a turn out into left field, it's still good. So probably one of the best first seasons of any Trek series so far.
So I've got a few days off before I get deployed again. I think I'm probably going to try and rewatch them all.
Yeah.
Before this final one.
Well, I'll definitely do that after the final one, but I'll definitely, because obviously after this final one, we'll need to do a show recapping that particular episode, and then at some point, maybe we have a week or so in between or whatever, just to give us a breather. We need to recap the entire season, whether Discovery's on or not. We need to recap the entire season and do another one of those roundtables like we did before. Maybe
that's what I was going to say.
Different listeners and do another roundtable, and that would be great. So that'd be good.
All right. Well, I think we should leave it there.
Yeah, there we go.
We did a good one.
We did a good one.
So.
All right, good show, boys.
Good. Yep, good show, guys. Appreciate it. Daniel, you have fun doing the editing because obviously you have to do the editing now.
Indeed. That's fine. That's fine.
And I do know what my problem is with the glitching. So if that becomes an odd thing in this episode, just know that it won't be there. Then I know exactly what's going on now.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
I know exactly, and I can fix it. So no big deal. It's an easy one to fix. All right, guys, appreciate it.
Wash your hands.
Yeah. Wash your hands and prosper and live long.
Are we doing this? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've been doing this all week. When I just do that. Whether anybody knows what it is or not, I've just been doing that. So my kids are like, Dad, stop it, Dad. No one knows what that is. They know what that is. No, they don't.
They all know what it is.
Everybody knows what it is.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. Till next time.
Okay.
See you guys. Bye.
Well, there you have it. Another episode in the can. Check us out at Trekcast.com. Also, if you would, please subscribe to us via iTunes. Leave those reviews, subscribe to us, we'll get some numbers, get up the list, get more listeners, do more shows, have more fun. But for now, we're all done. So live long and prosper, and we'll see you next week.